Welcome everybody. This is a day trading options daily review for August 24th, 2015. I'm Scott. He's Alan. We're going to be showing you whether or not you could have made 10% in 10 minutes as we've been showing you all year long. And of course, once more, this is a day that we have no clue. Could we or couldn't we? Actually, being a little facetious, it was a day that you probably couldn't have done anything wrong if you followed our rules. Except for maybe the first couple of minutes. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Alan, and we have a very special guest with us today, and he's going to introduce him.
Yeah, hi, thanks, Scott. And yeah, we've got Murray in the house, and you're going to really want to listen to Murray, and I'll explain why. This particular day was one of the very few where every stock gapped down phenomenally. Now, let me just show you an example, because here's SPY. Well, no, let's put you on SPY here. The S&P 500. And so right here is where the market closed. Let me get it here, blue pen. Right here is where the market closed on Friday. And then on Monday it opened up here. Actually, it opened right there. That's a massive difference. You can see how SPY, oh yeah, we're just having, and everybody thinks these are the big days, like this one here is a big days. Well, that was a really big day in the market right here, that day. But then this gap, if you compare it, so 204 to 198, that's a $6 change in that one day. And normally this thing travels about $2 in a day. So from 198 all the way down to beginning at about 187 and a bit. That's like $11. When's the last time we've seen an $11 gap? Well, actually, this day here closed from here to here, but that was $6. So here was this massive gap. So the whole market was running down. So what we're going to look at is, now that you've seen that the kind of day it is, here is SPY, and so here we are down at 187. Remember that the day before, let me put the chart in here for you. So that's the previous 3 days, and then here is today, where it's this huge drop down here. You say, okay, well, that's nice, but what does that mean? Well, let's talk about one thing here. This is the close to open gap. That's this column right here. So you can see that all of these are gapped to the red side, massive amounts, $30, $40, $8, $5, but they're all gapped. Now the only one that gapped the other way is this one here, which is it's a reversal, it's an inverse. It's a U is usually, if it's an index like that, is the opposite. It's the ultra short or inverted. So it gapped up because in the other version of it, VIX would have been going down. Anyways, volatility is a different thing than the stock price. So the short one is that here's everything going huge gap to the red side. And so what a normal person would think, using logic, not experience or having tested it, would think that, okay, gone down and it's just going to keep running down and I'll make a fortune and I'll just buy the puts, which is how you make money on the way down. I'm just going to make a fortune and I'm going to hang on all day because that's how I'm going to make my money. And it's like, well, that's a guess. It might work, but the reality is that I know people that made lots of money on this day, big money, riding the green side. So here's Apple, this is Amazon, but you can say, okay, well, it started out a bit red, but then immediately, like Baidu, started going to the green side. A little bit of red, lots of green, and we're just thumbing through all the stocks because you would have made a lot of money on the green side. So here, a little bit of red, and then lots of green. And so my point is, I'm just going to find you some of the really amazing examples. So here you are, if you bought Home Depot, if you didn't get out down here on the red side, which of course you'd think, well, why would I? And I'll hang on, and you'd be giving up all your profit, and now you'd be starting to lose money because as this stock went further in the day, we can look at Home Depot in particular, you'll see how it turned out. But the idea is that, you know, here, this is 1 minute. It ran down, and then it starts running back the other way and keeps going. The point of this conversation is that if you don't know how to trade gaps and you haven't practiced it, you could lose a lot of money. So I know one fellow who lost lots of money because he didn't follow his rules, and he wasn't a gap expert either. But everybody else that I know that did follow the rules, you know, the trading systems, and they practiced these things before their big opportunity day, they all made big money. Like, I have a friend from high school, best bud from high school. He made a few thousand, not one, but a few $1,000s on this day. I think it was about 6. So, you know, he's liking me now. From high school reunions are going to be interesting. Oh, yeah, come see my buddy here. He made me all kinds of money this year. So we're going to talk to Murray here because he really is, in my circle of people that I know, he a great coach, but he's also, you know, the #1 expert I have on gaps, and he's too humble to probably brag about himself that way, so I get to tell you the truth about him. So we're going to ask Murray maybe a question if he wants to go look at a particular stock, but you can see how they all generally ran to the green side. Yeah, a little hesitation, maybe a little bit of a spike to the red, but then just ran green. And they ran green. Let's go to look at the end of the day. I'm just going to put it back to normal candles. So, you know, middle of the day, that's right here, you know, it's exhausted and it's withering that way, but you can see that from this moment, which is right down there, that's the opening price right here, that to up here in this range, so it traveled back inside the risk zone, it broke the mag line, all these kinds of stuff that we talk about so many times. But look at the change of this day was 600% of its normal day. Tell me you couldn't make money on the green side. So Murray, all yours.
Hi, Alan. Hi, Scott. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
There's a couple of general rules of gaps, but when I'm coaching people, I try and have them put their heads into the heads of the people who are trading at that stock at that particular time. And once you can do that, take your head out of your own, you know, mental state and figure out if the people are making money, if they want to take their profit. If the candle's going up 3 days in a row, if the stock's been going up 3 days in a row, and I happen to be one of those people buying that stock, and suddenly it gaps up $4, $5, $6, when I wake up the next morning, my initial thought is, I'm going to take my profit. And if most of the traders who have traded the last 2 or 3 or 4 days while the stock has been going up think the same way as I do, and they probably are, then the stock is going to retrace. The first candle of the day of the gap usually goes in the direction of the gap, and then people are going to start taking their profit, which means it's going to start tanking. It's going to go back in the opposite direction. And as long as you understand that, then you won't get stuck in trading the first few minutes of a gap. Conversely, if the stock has been going up for the last 3 days and suddenly it gaps down big time, well, those people are going to have to sell in order to get out of the stock because they're losing money, so the stock will probably continue to go down. And there's certain rules that you can apply right at the beginning of the day to trade those. But if you just put yourself into the headspace of the people who are trading rather than throw yourself into the trading milieu, then you have a better chance of understanding what is likely going to happen with that particular stock and how to trade it. And you can set up a trading plan and stick to your trading plan, and don't get so involved emotionally, and just follow your plan because you've thought it through. And I do a lot of my work on gaps before the market opens. I look at the daily candle. I look to see whether there's much room for it to move, whether it's gapped, whether it's what type of candle was it yesterday, etc., etc. So gaps can be fun, but you really have to think about it and don't get yourself caught up in the emotions.
Yeah, the greed frenzy takes over, and not just from gaps, but all kinds of things. And we're going to be doing a course specifically about the mind part, and that'll be released shortly. But I could see And this is what ate my friend's account, and he got in early on Monday, and he thought, wow, blah blah blah, but he didn't follow his plan at all, and so the greed frenzy took him, and whisked away a lot of his money into other people's accounts.
Well, Thursday had a huge move down in the market.
Yep.
And Friday had a semi-good movement down, and near the end of the day Friday, there was a big surge down again. And so Monday morning, what are people doing? They're either caught in the marketplace and they're freaking out and getting out, or the people who traded down Thursday and Friday are taking their profits. So it's going to reverse. So first 5 minutes after the first 5-minute candle, if you look on Monday's day charts, you'll see that it's a big reversal for the rest of the day, and so if you place yourself into the mindset of what people are thinking, those people who traded down the last 2 days, you'll realize it's not going to continue down anymore. It's going to go sideways or going to go up, and you can't make money going down, especially after a mega gap like that. It was huge.
Yeah, I haven't seen one like that in a long time, and yeah. So if you actually want to learn how to do the gap strategy the right way, just put a comment on this video, and we'll hook you up with Murray, or if he's available. But the other part is you want to test it, and I can say with a lot of confidence that we've got the best testing environment in the planet. This is based on not just our humble opinion, but on lots of people that have looked at lots of different software. And you need something to prove that your rules are right.
Yeah, your replay, Alan, is next to nothing. It's an amazing tool. You can go in there and pick a day, any day over the last 4 years, up to 6 years, but all of the data is there for the last 4 years, and you can practice for as long as you want. And it's the best way of creating a trading plan and getting your process down pat before you start trading live. It's just a phenomenal tool. So congratulations on that one.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and we did a really nice improvement to the data feed for the live traders recently. And my point in mentioning all that is we're looked after. we don't need anything else. But if you're listening to this, we're gonna offer this out to a bunch of people. But when we hit our limit, and this isn't some sneaky snake oil marketing thing. It's about, if you were me and you could make all the money you want pretty much in the markets, do you really want to look after 500 people's complaints and problems with no? I just make my money, and I'm good. And this is what almost all the big wealthy people do is they look after themselves. So with the help of Murray and Scott and Steve and a few other people, we are letting a few people into the environment, and we're not going to do this for everybody forever. It's just I'm just mentioning that so that we're honest about that, and we said, hey, this is what we're doing. It's not to make you buy now. Operators are standing by. We're looking after our own needs here, and if you want to, there's links below. Scott will tell you about that. But this is, I got my friends from high school, signed up on this, and then they sign up some of their friends, and so I've got about, I'd say, a quarter of my friends signed up on this program, and they're making money. Some of them lost jobs. They don't have the big company let them go, or they got a bad back and they just can't really be a drywaller anymore, that kind of stuff. Why wouldn't you want to at least look at that when you can try out the replay for almost free? I think, yeah, you offer, Scott, a 30-day free trial so that you can say, well, I think I can do this. And anyway, Scott, I'll turn it back to you.
He may have stepped away there. Just looking at your screen here, Alan, another thing I really like about the Wall Street Genius is all the indicators that you have. You can pick and choose your indicators. Most of them are proprietary. You can't find them anywhere else in the marketplace, and they're real easy to follow. So when when I see this on my screen, I get into the trade. When I see that on my screen, I don't get into the trade. Pretty simple stuff.
Yeah, I agree, and thank you, Murray. You're part of the early team. You've been working with this program for, I don't know, 6, 7 years while we were making it better, and you helped make it better. You added a bunch of things to the program that it's like, well, if we had that, that would help us be more successful. And it's that kind of environment. So we've been building this thing since 2003. And, you know, first it was stocks. And most people go, well, yeah, stocks, you know, not so great. Yes, I had a small group of people, an investment club in, I think, 2004 or 5, something like that. And we made 23% in a 3-month period just following the early edition. And but with options, it's actually safer if you're doing it right than doing stocks. It sounds crazy to people that are investors because they go, well, you can't be that way. And it's like, well, you know, we're getting more and more people signing up because they say 10% in 10 minutes sounds really good. And then they start making it and they go, holy smokes. And then they start, you know, changing their thinking about what we do versus what everybody else says. Well, if everybody was a bad driver in the city, you'd think that driving in the city is a bad idea. Well, it's like, well, what if you had the helicopter? It's like, well, you just go from your house to the building, and you don't have to get stuck in all that nonsense. And that's what, you know, the indicators, you know, that Murray's talking about is they make it really easy to avoid the junk. And just as a simple commentary, it's like, you know, here's this SB thing. You know, that's drawn, and here's the SC thing. That's drawn before the day begins. Here's SA. How did it know that those tops were going to exist before the market opened? And so, you know, it hit a support resistance price here. You know, these are published by us, so it's not like we are cheating. You can go test that with a live program. And anyways, people are making money. Anyway, Scott, back to you.
All right. So part of the purpose was to show some people that you could have made 10% in 10 minutes, and I think like we should probably do that. So
Okay.
why don't you kind of randomly pick 2 or 3 stocks, and let's see what they did. You know, obviously everything was going up. Like, let's just show you what would be possible in a few short minutes.
Okay, I'm just going to move. Here's, for example, SPY. Did it have all the indicators turned on? Maybe, maybe not. There, by then, you really should have looked at that because you've got the K-band. How's the market? Well, the market is sunny. You got great volume. So I'm just going to go hit the buy-sell button on the call. And I'm going to go, let's go look at another one. How about, I know some people made money on Apple. We're going to go look at the totals here. So here's another one where you got the tint and tint, broke the risk zone. I'm going to hit the buy the call. And who else made money? Okay, so here's Amazon. You got everything lined up. The market's great. So that's just 3 to make it simple. So here are the 3. So we're going to start with Apple at 937. And you can watch right here how the prices change. Now, real market is a little bit different, but we do in replay keep it simple. These are approximate averages, but they give you the idea of whether you're making or losing money in a nice, easy way. So here's Apple, 1 minute, 2, 2 minutes I made 30%. I'm going to let that ride.
I was going to say, all right, get out.
4,
Oh, my goodness.
5, 6, so 98% after. I'm just going to hit sell. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Let's go look at Amazon. So we liked it here because tint on tint, broke the risk zone, agrees with the market, and has volume. Okay. 1 minute, 2. Oh, look at that. Nice jump. 3, 4. Oh, it's a bad investment. We should get out. Maybe. It didn't get across the mag line. The market's still green. If you want to hang on, go ahead. So I'm just going to, what should I do? In the risk zone again? Let's just say we don't like it anymore. We'll sell it at a measly 30%. But I like getting out at 50. That's just my thing. It's like if I can get 50%, I'm out. I don't need anything more. That's such a great return. So, so I might miss some of these extremely rare 98s, but I'll get some more common 50s. So here's 19. That's 2 minutes. Is 50%. So I'd be selling right there. And here's it keeps going. How far does it go? Well, you're in the risk zone. See how you're losing the edge that you had. See, that's why these lines are here. Well, I'm going to hang in all day. Okay, great. I love it. I'm right. Well, you can play that way, but you can see how it comes back again. So the idea is, if you've got 84% profit, you should sell half at like 50%, right? Everything's still looking good here. If I go to, let's just do that for this purpose. Oh, yeah, it won't let me. That's right. I got the little drawing tool on. So there were so many things to grab. And see, here you should have been out, right? You could have wrote it again from here. Same setup. Anyways, Murray, any comments?
Nice. Okay, get out and we'll look at the summary.
So big profits this day.
Yeah. Not what you would call a normal day, but if you're not in the game, you're not going to experience these, right?
No. And you know, there were some bad spreads on a lot of options for the first while, but Apple had it calmed down, and people actually did trade Apple and made money. And later on, because the market was so wild, so strong, some of the option prices went up. But people that know, they would just, hey, I already know this thing's going to go great. I'm just going to buy it even though it's a bad spread. And they made money and walked away with a lot of money, like my friend from high school. He mopped up, and he makes like $3,000 a day, so he's not suffering.
No, that's right. Cool. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner is a little button. In the descriptions, we've got links to our courses. When you get the course, you get a free month of the software, so you can kick the tires, try it out, see what you think, and test it all out. We don't want you to believe us. We want you to prove it for yourself. We do want you to believe us when we say that there's opportunity to make 10% in 10 minutes. In this case, it was 90, 30, and 71 in a lot less than, well, one was 12 minutes, but pretty much less than 10 minutes on a daily basis. And we've got videos going back to January 2015 showing you each day where there's the opportunity. And for you to take advantage of the opportunity, you're going to have to learn the system, you're going to have to learn the software, you're going to have to learn what options are and how they work, and you're going to have to practice. And that's why we have the replay, so that you can practice 24/7 until you feel really comfortable. We give you lots of support if you've got questions. And you can see that in the courses where people are asking questions, and in the reviews where people are very, very happy with how quickly we get back to them with their concerns, because you'll get in there, and of course your mind is a big part of it. If you've got self-sabotaging stuff going on, you're going to be doing really, really great and hang out on too long and lose your money. So you got to deal with those as well, and we're working on some courses to help you with that. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.